Florida's primary election day is just 2 days away, and the stakes could not be higher in Democratic and Republican races that could help shape state politics and national politics. How will Florida voters be heard looking towards November? Let's go on the record.
From WPBF 25, this is On the Record with Todd McDermott.
Good morning. Voters will head to the polls Tuesday, August 20th to decide which candidates go on to the general election in November. In at least one case, they'll actually decide the election. Joining me now is Dr. Luz Marina Garcia, Assistant Professor of Political Science at Florida Atlantic University. Thank you for joining us again this morning. First off, we should explain why there are two different primaries in Florida, and you can only vote in one. Well, some of us just have to wait for November.
That's correct. So Florida is a closed primary state. So essentially, that means that a voter may only vote for the candidates of the party in which he or she is registered. There's also no party affiliation. There's been a surge in the state, especially among young voters, and they don't get to vote in the primaries. So they might feel left out. Sometimes they might just choose a party in order to participate in primaries. But again, since a lot of the races are highly partisan, it might seem that that might be the way that some people go. But usually it is the known party affiliations that would have to vote into the general election in November.
I want to delve into this idea of very partisan races because this past week we saw the state GOP announce they've hit 1 million more registered voters compared to Florida Democrats. What does that mean for the parties and for these primaries?
Well, first of all, it speaks to the degree to which Florida has become a red state. Now, what comes to mind for me is in-group solidarity, which is a political science idea in which a lot of people that are part of the group are going to feel solidarity for the members of their group, and they might say that their team is going to win. But on the flip side, it might also trigger a lot of people that are not Republican to see with enmity. So essentially also triggering a different kind of solidarity. And so perhaps what we see is that although not everybody votes their party affiliation, they might feel stronger towards one party or the other. And so, again, what we see is that perhaps a lot of people feel a lot of solidarity with their group when we see something like this.
And let's talk for a minute about the unaffiliated voter. That number is some 3 to 4 million voters, I believe, in the state. Where do they stand? Obviously, they can't vote in these primary elections, but they still have an impact on the actual general election. And is there a way to predict which way they go in a general?
Well, that is a pollster like myself's, dream is to see kind of with the crystal ball ahead of time. But again, when it comes to primary elections, we really want to take them for what they are, which is a snapshot at this particular point. What we're going to see leading up to November is that these people that are non-party affiliated or they are undecided, they have a lot of power, and they're especially powerful because a lot of people are throwing their messaging at them in terms of campaign messaging. And so what we see as the lead up to November is that we are going to have more messaging, we're going to have more media, we're going to have more articulation of party platforms and of policy. And so perhaps what we get is a lot of people making up their mind with this information. And so where we stand in the primaries might be very different from where we end up in the November election.
Now, which primary, Senate and congressional primary races are you watching as far as possibly close contests? Any?
Yes, of course. So FAU Poll Com Lab, we actually just released a poll on Monday of Florida voters, again, a representative sample of Florida voters. And in the Senate race, Republican Rick Scott leads Democrat Debbie Muscatel-Powell, 47 to 43 among likely voters, but that gap has closed. And while Scott leads, there is increasing evidence rather, that this race could be competitive come November. And again, if we have the kind of claims that are being made by the Republican Party about the numbers that they have, we'd expect them to be running away with the vote. And that's not what we see in this particular race. The other thing that I think a lot of people should pay attention to is the down ballot endorsements from some of the larger elites in the particular parties, for example, Trump, who is endorsing individuals in local Florida elections, for example, Meg Weinberger and Debbie Mayfield. Meg Weinberger for Florida House of Representatives District 94 and Debbie Mayfield for Florida House of Representatives District 32. And we want to see how those pan out because it really means what the party's going to look like at different levels.
Let's talk about early voting. We don't have full numbers at this point, but early voting actually ends Sunday night in Palm Beach County. When it comes to early voting in the primary, what type of factors do you look at that can give you some hints about the general election to come?
Well, again, I don't want to read into one election's effects on others, right? It could be that they are tied together. It could be that they look independent. But according to literature, there's probably going to be a boost, but it can be hard to separate from the trends of other factors because we only have them every 2 years. So like most other states, Florida held its presidential primary well before congressional primaries. And as we know, the presidential candidates are now decided. So there might be enthusiasm that really leads to a bump in more voting in this primary, but we wouldn't expect as much of an increase as in smaller number of cases where states have their congressional primaries earlier to coincide with the presidential primary.
Well, let's talk about enthusiasm because we've talked previously on this program, you and I have, about the election impact possibly of the referendum on reproductive freedom. Florida Amendment 4, the right to abortion initiative, doesn't come into play until November. Does that limit what the primary can tell us, but do you expect it to actually boost voter turnout? And what is a presidential cycle, so we expect a big turnout anyway?
Do I expect Amendment 4 to lead to a large bump come November? The answer is not really. Not because the issue isn't worth it, not because there's several referendums that a lot of people should become informed about and make their mind up on. But it's just that there's evidence that, yes, there's greater turnout in elections when people can vote on emotionally charged issues, including same-sex marriage, more recently abortion. However, those studies are for midterm elections where it's already kind of a low, it's lower turnout than general elections. Again, there's no election for president in those studies. So with this being a presidential year, many of the people who are going to turn out to vote for one of these ballot initiatives were just going to turn up to vote for the president anyway. What we should pay attention to is that these voters that don't know how they're going to vote on these particular referendums, but know how they're going to vote for the president, for example, they could be faced, they could be the ones that really call the shots come November, right?
All right, well, we look forward to talking to you again this fall because there's a lot of voting to come. Dr. Luz Marina Garcia of FAU, thanks for going on the record today.
My pleasure.
All right, good to see you again. When we come back, we'll talk with the Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections about what you need to know as you head to the polls.
We need not accept what we think old age should look and feel like. You're never too old, and it's never too late to start.
Stream for free, only on Very Local.
WPBF 25 First Warning Weather, certified most accurate for 11 years.
At the Ram Make This the Summer event, you can take a vacation from payments on the most awarded light and heavy-duty trucks. The most luxurious Ram 1500 ever. And the #1 brand in new vehicle quality. Hurry into your local Ram dealer and make the most of your summer with great deals plus no payments for 90 days.
Right now, during the Ram Make This the Summer event, purchase and get $4,000 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. See your local Ram dealer today.
I'm Jill Hazy.
And I'm Erin Burns.
We invite you to join us this Sunday for Total Retirement with Ernie Burns, where we'll discuss wealth management, estate planning, and more.
Ernie was named 2022's Forbes Best In-State Security Professional. You don't want to miss it.
Slip, trip, and fall accidents are more common than most people realize, and the injuries can include broken bones and even brain injuries. Commercial property owners have an obligation to maintain their property in a reasonably safe condition. If you've been injured as a result of a slip or trip and fall accident, call us for a free case evaluation at 333-3333 or visit fortheinjured.com. And remember, we don't get paid unless you do.
Whoa, is this your new Nissan Rogue?
Yeah, crazy story. Yesterday, I was at the Nissan End of Summer Sales event taking a test drive, and Laura says,
"We've got somewhere to be."
And off we went. We're having a blast. And she tells me it's recommended by Consumer Reports.
These Rogues are going fast.
I knew I had to have that Rogue.
Get a low $289 per month lease on Rogue, or get up to $2,500 total savings on remaining select 2024 Rogue Platinum trims.
I am Alexia Cox, and for nearly 2 decades, I've made it my mission to uphold the principles of justice with a deep, compassionate understanding of our Palm Beach County community. As Deputy Chief Assistant State Attorney, I serve as part of State Attorney Aaron Berg's leadership team, where we work together to achieve justice for families and protect our neighborhoods. I would be deeply honored to earn your vote to serve as our next state attorney.
Hello.
Hey.
I would like to introduce you to... there he is, my guy. Hey.
Hey.
Man, this guy is my tall king. Buddy boy. My bro nail polish. This guy.
Remembering that one guy's name is hard. Hiring Morgan & Morgan for your injury is easy.
My man. Oh, man.
Morgan & Morgan. The choice is easy.
Losing a loved one can be so painful, but being prepared for that day can make all the difference to your family. Pre-planning provides you with a peace of mind, knowing that your final wishes and associated costs are taken care of. Whether your needs are immediate or in pre-planning for yourself, the Gardens staff will serve you and your family as if you were their own. 3-time winner of the Best of Palm Beach County. The Gardens of Boca Raton. Here for you now, here for them always.
You're watching On the Record on WPBF 25.
Welcome back. Joining me now is Wendy Sartori-Link, the Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections. Thanks so much for joining us today. The deadline.
It's my pleasure.
So glad you're here. Registered voting by early was August 8th. So what type of participation did you see in people actually registering in time to do this?
So yeah, the registration, the book closing ended on July 22nd. And so we had a good number, people were really good. We had a lot of registrations right in that week before and even on the last day. So I feel like people did a really good job getting in before book closing. And of course, they can still register to vote for the general election, but we're set now for the primary.
Right. Now, early voting actually ends today, Sunday, in Palm Beach County. When you look at early voting, does it give you any type of hint of what you expect at the polls on Election Day, August 20th?
Well, primary doesn't always have the best turnout, for us or anybody else in the state. And so we're really hoping that based on the numbers, whether it's vote by mail or early voting, that we will continue to see increased participation and really encouraging and hoping that people will come out on Election Day, Tuesday, so that we can, it's just so important that everybody still vote in this election. So we're hopeful that the low turnout means that people are just waiting until Election Day.
All right, I was going to ask what your main message is to voters of Palm Beach County, but I think that was probably it. Please come if you're registered to vote.
Yeah, we really need people to get out and vote. The primary ballot is a very important ballot. It determines who's going to be on your general election ballot. So it's critical that we have this information done. So and have everybody there and voting. So we're looking forward to a good, healthy, robust Election Day.
Well, I feel like this is just a warm-up for you and your staff and all the volunteers looking ahead to November. As far as the general election goes, what do people need to know as we head into the fall?
Well, they need to know that they've got, if they want to request a vote by mail ballot going into for the general election, they're going to have to re-request the ballot if they haven't requested it since November of 2022, because that law had changed. If they're looking to vote early voting in person, we're going to have at least 25 locations to choose from, and they can do an appointment, which is very handy when the lines get long and early voting to have that option. So please, for those who are interested, do consider, as it gets closer, making an appointment for early voting. And then on election day, it's going to be very important that they check their polling location, because we have had, for a number of reasons, a lot of polling locations have had to step out or back out of being a polling location, which means we've had to move people. So it's very important that people check their location before they head out to vote on election day.
All right, I'll make you a deal. Can we talk again right before the election in November?
Oh, I would love that. Yes, we want to get information out as much as we can.
All right, Wendy Sartoria links our elections for Palm Beach County. Thanks for joining us today on the record.
Thank you.
All right, now listen, if you live in Martin County, St. Lucie County, Indian River, or Okeechobee counties and need voting information, we have links for your election headquarters, and you can go to WPBF.com. They're also posted there. Next, the local races you need to know about that will be on your ballot.
WPBF 25 and the First Warning Weather Team are excited to be the exclusive broadcast partners of the Cox Science Center and Aquarium.
Learn about science and weather from the most experienced team in the Palm Beaches and Treasure Coast.
At the WPBF 25 First Warning Weather Exhibit, you can make your own forecast. Feel hurricane force winds and put your hand inside a tornado.
See the WPBF 25 First Warning Weather Exhibit from the #1 weather team. Visit the Cox Science Center and Aquarium today.
When choosing between style, comfort, and performance, we chose all of the above. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
I've watched WPBF for the last 9 years. When I see Yasmin give the traffic, I find it very helpful, especially with all the construction.
Yasmin is on it big time. I do have her as an app, so it gives me alerts when traffic is heavy.
Being able to plan your trip and having that information before you leave the house is absolutely important. And I love the fact that we get that information from Yasmin so that we can plan when we actually have to get on the road.
Trust WPBF 25 News Mornings and South Florida's only dedicated traffic anchor.
Be a winner during the 50-50-50 sale at Bears Furniture. Our most popular brands are half price. 50% off everything Bernhardt, including this customer favorite, only $15.98. 50% off everything Natuzzi Editions. New at Bears, this incredible sofa, just $15.98. 50% off everything Hooker, with so many styles to choose from. And 50% off everything Tommy Bahama Outdoor Living, a brand that rarely goes on sale. 3 short days, 4 big offers. Everybody wins. There's no place like Bears.
Living in Florida, you know that hurricanes and storms are a way of life. But what if you could protect your home and loved ones from unpredictable weather? Statewide Windows and Doors is Florida's leader in hurricane protection. And right now, take advantage of our best offer ever. Buy one window or door, get one free with no money down and no payments for up to 2 years. Plus, for a limited time, get free installation and protect your home this storm season. Call Statewide Windows and Doors today to schedule your free consultation. Choose wise, choose Statewide.
When smoking gives you COPD, you learn to lie a little bit. You make up excuses like, I have to get my keys. You guys go on. Anything so you can walk at your own pace. I used to do that all the time. Those lies don't work anymore. My tip is, the worst lies are the lies you tell yourself, like smoking isn't that dangerous.
Tobacco Free Florida offers free nicotine replacement therapy to help start your quit journey. Call 1-877-YOU-CAN now.
Every day is about service, from the courtroom to the community.
Casanova's a former prosecutor, a real leader. She'll put integrity first. That's why we endorse Casanova for judge.
A 4-time nominee for county judge, former Bar Association president, local small business owner, Lourdes Casanova is the experienced choice for county judge.
You can count on me to protect your rights and serve our community with honor.
Vote Lourdes Casanova for county court judge.
Cool Roof has the only roof system with a Cat 5 hurricane warranty. Call now.
Some tests are more enjoyable than others. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
There are a lot of key local races that we're keeping a close eye on for you, including the race for sheriff in nearly all of our local counties. In Palm Beach County, 4 men, 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans are running for sheriff, including the current sheriff, Rick Bradshaw. It's a similar story in St. Lucie County. including Keith Pearson, who's the current sheriff. Whoever wins Tuesday will face the only Democrat running for sheriff in November. And 4 candidates are seeking to be the next sheriff in Indian River County. The current sheriff, Eric Flowers, is running for re-election. Whoever wins faces Deborah Cooney, who will appear on the general election ballot as a write-in option for sheriff. And incumbent Okeechobee County Sheriff Noel Stephen is facing 2 opponents Tuesday. Unlike the other county sheriff races, the election in Okeechobee will be decided Tuesday. If you live in Martin County, you will not see a line for sheriff on your ballot. Martin County Chief Deputy John Budenseek will take over that role next year because no one else entered the race before the filing deadline. And Palm Beach County voters get their first chance in more than a decade to choose a new state attorney. 6 candidates are running for that seat after Dave Ehrenberg declined to seek re-election. And there's just one question on the primary ballot in Palm Beach County. Voters will decide whether to continue a tax break program for new and expanding business. If you want to hear more about that question or the other races, check out our voter guide on WPBF.com and on the WPBF 25 News app. We have a breakdown of where the candidates who are seeking your vote stand on the issues that matter to you. It's all under the Commitment 2024 tab. And make sure to count on WPBF 25 News on election night. We're committed to bringing you the results as they come in Tuesday night, both on the air here and on WPBF.com. On the record, we'll be right back.
The #1 choice for news and weather in the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast. WPBF 25 News Weekends. Live, local, late breaking. Thank you for donating to the WPBF 25 School Supply Drive and making it a big success.
Just trying to make ends meet, getting the kids ready for the beginning of school, this is huge.
Because of your generosity, thousands of kids have supplies to start the school year off right.
Just help them put their best foot forward as they go back to school.
Just can't thank you enough for letting us be part of this.
WPBF 25, the Boys and Girls Club, and our proud partners say thank you.
Welcome back to Sunday with a chance of winning. Final question. Which one of these benefits can you receive every year if you enroll with HealthSun?
Is it $5,000 for comprehensive dental services? $2,400 for groceries, home and pet care supplies and utilities? $1,500 for OTC items, or all of the above?
Cindy?
D, all of them!
Your health deserves a 5-star plan. Call us today.
Your home is more than an investment, more than just a roof over your head. Over the past 28 years, StormSmart has completed over 100,000 product installations, keeping Florida homes and families protected. From storm catcher screens and aluminum shutters that are designed and manufactured right here in Florida to impact windows and doors, StormSmart has products to protect every opening of your home. Because smart is going with a proven and trusted solution. Call StormSmart today for your free in-home consultation.
At the Healthcare District of Palm Beach County's Community Health Centers,
we care about your overall health.
Dental health.
Women's health.
Mental health.
Preventive health.
We care about your care.
With 10 Palm Beach County locations, our team provides the healthcare and pharmacy services you and your family need, regardless of your ability to pay, with or without insurance. Call 561-642-1000 and let us care for you.
Dad, what are you doing?
It's our back-to-school sale at Capital Carpet Tile and Window Fashions with amazing savings. Let me show you. Our design team selected our most popular styles in window treatments and flooring, and we put them all on sale at fantastic prices, a sale you don't want to miss.
School is back, and so are the best prices at Capital Carpet Tile and Window Fashions. And remember, we call you after to make sure you're happy.
That's correct. So why would you buy from anyone else?
Today, my client can finally be heard. She led a normal life. She went to work, took care of her children, and enjoyed time with her family. She was happy with her life, but now her life has been changed forever. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we stand here ready to tell her story so you can award her the justice she deserves.
Sir, are you gonna order?
At Kogan and DeSalvo, we care, we prepare, and we fight to win. Call us now.
As one of the nation's best hospitals and academic health systems, Tampa General is one of the nation's best for cancer care, heart and vascular care, and gastroenterology and GI surgery. Plus, we're top 10% in the nation for neurology and neurosurgery, and top 2% in the nation for orthopedic surgery. Tampa General. Other hospitals practice medicine. We define it.
I want to thank you for making us part of your morning today. As always, we encourage you to be part of our discussion each and every Sunday right here at 10 a.m. Until the next time, you can watch This Morning's On the Record and every episode on our website, WPBF.com, and on our free WPBF 25 News app. Matter of Fact with Soledad O'Brien is next. We hope you have a great day. We'll see you again next Sunday.